Hi everyone, Jim Paterson, Principal of Discovery Group. Tonight we're at the standing room only Exchange Hotel for the Discovery Days Gold event, and we are honored and very lucky to have Chris Taylor, former president and CEO of Great Bear Resources, a great success within Discovery Group, to come here and impart some of his wisdom with the audience on development opportunities. So Chris, you're now the chairman of Kodiak Copper.
I am.
But one of the reasons why you were speaking today at this exhibition was your experience in the gold market. And I actually want to ask you if you can deliver a message of hope to struggling CEOs in the junior sector, because you came out of a very tough period in the market. And in 2017, you had a lot of work to do, but that was the beginning of Dixie's success. So maybe talk about mindset in a tough market like this and what you need to do to make success possible as a junior CEO.
Well, first off, Jim, it's great to see you again in person. It doesn't happen often enough. And it is a privilege to be here to speak about this stuff with you. So,
and everyone appreciates it.
Well, I would say one of the things that the CEOs have to do, now's the time when the market is rough to really buckle down and really communicate with your shareholders, right? This isn't just like issuing news releases. It's not about that. Like, it's about having conversations. So one of the things that really made Great Bear successful at the end, even when we got taken over, we had over $1 billion valuation. We were over 60%, 66% retail shareholder owned. So these are guys, regular people that we met throughout the growth of the company. These guys held on to their stock. At some points, we saw massive corrections in the share price, and these guys, because they had good communication, they would in fact buy more. They would average down and then re-up, right? So one of the best things you can do as a CEO is not rely on the market to do the work for you. You've got to communicate. You've got to tell the story. You've got to live the story. And so tell the CEOs out there, they're going to survive this. It seems like it's going to be forever. Everybody thinks it's always the end of the world when there's a mining market correction. But if you keep communicating with your shareholder base, you really build that rapport. You have a genuine relationship with those people. You can survive just about any onslaught together.
I agree, and I quite often saw you parading around the boardroom with the phone attached to your ear, right?
Walking in circles around the boardroom table.
Yeah, and you were talking to shareholders, and they're very happy people now. Tell us a little bit about the mindset that you have, and maybe when you realized you were onto something that was bigger than you.
Well, I'm only 5'7", so everything's bigger than me, I have to say. It's funny, Bob Singh, our VPX, and really the discoverer of the Dixie deposits. Bob and I were popping lids off core boxes when we made the initial hinge zone discovery, and he was there, but I also happened to be there, and we had a tour going through that day, and we had to actually give a tour and have the boxes covered on the tables with lids on them so nobody could see what was in them. But I remember that night, when that core came in, we pulled it off, and you could see the gold from basically 10 feet away. It was astonishing. We knew at that point that we had found something completely new on the project that would change the fate of Great Bear. And when we made the subsequent discovery, a year later, of the LP fault, which is the big zone that ultimately all the majors went and purchased, when we kept hitting the same geology and the same drill core kilometer after kilometer for over 4 kilometers, we knew at that point that this was ultimately going to be a major, major mine and a big, big deal for us personally and for all of our Great Bear shareholders and all the local community as well. So people would say these guys are being too clever, they're drilling cross structures with everything. I'm like, guys, we are not that smart. We are not smart enough to gain results on a massive scale like this. It was just honest to goodness discovery of a major, major target.
And tell us about that play they had in Red Lake where they had the fish and the bear, the 2 fish and then the big bear. What was that?
So it was local people put on this play, and it was basically it was a little fish with Placer Dome labeled on it. It was called Baby Shark. You know the song? Mm-hmm. Baby Shark, do 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 do. And so it did that. So it had a little Placer Dome fish, and then it had, I think it was a big Gold Corp fish, ate the Placer Dome fish. And then it had this big great bear come through and eat the other fish. And it was just hilarious because at that point we were just this tiny little company, right? But all the discoveries that was after the first discovery, and everything just layered on after that. And, long story short, it was a $2 billion total, acquisition with the mining company and the royalty company. So in the end, there was some truth in that.
But it was a testament to what the community thought of you and the company and the staff, right?
Like our staff were local people, right? Like we had Ian Russell, Terry Bursey, Crystal McCullough, Rick Greenwood. These are the people that make Great Bear work. Bob Singh, the puppet master controlling all the exploration and discovery genius. It's the local people that live in town that are part of the community. Like they saw the legitimacy of what we were doing. They saw that it was all above board. They saw that it was real. So that word got around in the community way before it got around in the market as a whole. And fortunately, the market as a whole caught up almost as quickly as the major gold producers did, as you can see in the final run up in the share price. So it's good to get everybody local on board, including our First Nations friends like Chief Petaquan, Chief Bull. These guys really understood the potential of the project for the communities. And it's one of the reasons that we were so successful is everybody knew locally that this thing was real.
It was a great success. We thank you for your time. You came out, the audience loved it, and we had a great afternoon.
Oh man, it's good to see you, Jim. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Chris. Everybody, good night.